Every great company at its core runs on a really powerful operating system. But I'm not talking about software or code. I'm talking about the system that manages a company's most valuable and, let's be honest, most complex asset, its people. Today, we are diving deep into human resources management, or HRM, the essential OS that helps all that talent work together to do incredible things. All right, let's get into it. So here's where we're headed. First, we're going to bust some common myths and go beyond the acronym of HR. Then, we'll track its evolution from being seen as just a cost to a critical investment. After that, we'll open up the modern HRM playbook to see how it all works. We'll meet the people who actually build these systems. And finally, we'll take a look at what the future holds for people at work. All right, Section 1. HR, beyond the acronym. It's time we really challenge that old school image of HR being just about paperwork and making sure everyone gets paid on time. It's so much more than that. No, seriously, think about it for a second. When someone says HR, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? Is it hiring? Maybe it's benefits paperwork? Or something else? Whatever it is, just kind of hold that thought, because I think we're about to blow that definition wide open. So officially, human resources has this cool dual meaning. On one hand, it refers to the people themselves, their skills, their creativity, all that amazing human potential inside a company. And on the other hand, yes, it's the department that's supposed to manage all of that, but how they manage it has completely changed. And this slide, wow, this really shows you the shift I'm talking about. We've moved from what used to be called personnel management, which was all about minimizing costs and controlling people, to modern human resources management. And look at the difference. The focus today is on people and strategy. The job is to integrate and coordinate. The old view saw people as a cost. The new view? People are the strategic factor that can make or break a company. It's a total philosophy shift. That leads us perfectly into Section 2. We're talking about going from a cost mindset to an investment mindset. And this right here is why modern HRM has become such a strategic powerhouse in business. This quote absolutely nails it. A company's people strategy can't be off in its own little corner. It has to be woven into the very fabric of the business's main goals. Think about it. Your people aren't just doing the work. They are the strategy brought to life. So this is the tightrope that every modern company has to walk. Yes, of course, employees represent a cost on the balance sheet, but they are also, without a doubt, the single greatest investment a company can make. And the real magic, the secret sauce of great HRM, is finding that perfect balance, managing costs smartly while investing deeply in people's growth, their motivation, and just their overall well-being. Get that right, and you've got a massive advantage. So, what is modern HR actually trying to do? It's so much more than just filling job openings. I mean, look at this. It's about influencing company strategy right from the top. It's about making sure you're getting the absolute best from the talent you have. It's about building a culture, attracting the right people who fit that culture, and then helping them grow so they actually want to stay. Every single one of these goals is a lever that directly pushes the company forward. Okay, Section 3. Let's open up the playbook. We've talked about the what and the why, so now it's time for the how. What are the core processes that actually shape an employee's day-to-day experience? A really good way to think about this is as a journey that every single employee takes. It starts with this first step, affection. Yeah, it's a bit of a formal term, but it's basically the whole process of bringing someone new on board, finding them, choosing them, and getting them settled in. Next up is development. That's all your training and growth. Then comes evaluation and compensation. How are they doing and how are they rewarded? And finally, there's maintenance. This is all about keeping your best people happy and, when it's necessary, managing departures in a professional way. It really is a full life cycle. This brings us right to Section 4, to the architects of the workplace themselves. I mean, who are the people actually building these systems? And how does the whole HR structure change as a company gets bigger? The history of the HR manager tells a really fascinating story. Way back, it was all about lawyers because the main concern was just following the rules and regulations. Then, in the mid-20th century, the focus shifted to psychologists as companies got obsessed with motivation and human behavior. But today, it's a whole new ballgame. The modern HR leader is a specialized manager who gets business, gets economics, and gets people. They have a real seat at the leadership table. Now, if you're in a small startup, you're probably not going to see a big, fancy HR department. The HR stuff still has to get done, of course, but it's often handled by the founder or maybe someone in finance. The focus is really just on the basics. Get people paid, make sure the contracts are right, and stay compliant. But then, as that company starts to grow, things get a lot more complex, right? This is the point where a dedicated HR department usually appears. You'll get HR generalists who kind of do a little bit of everything, and all those processes for hiring and training start to get much more formal and structured. And then you get to the big leagues, the large companies. Here, HR becomes the super specialized, complex division. You have experts for literally everything, from compensation to training. But the really crucial thing here is that responsibility is shared. The HR department provides the strategy and the tools, but the day-to-day people management is done by the line managers themselves. And that brings us to our final section, and my favorite, the future of people. The world of work is changing faster than ever, and HR is right in the middle of it all. So let's look at the biggest trends shaping what's next. This is where it gets really, really exciting. I mean, just look at these topics. We're talking about crafting the entire employee experience, from their first interview to their last day. Companies are now thinking about their employer brand, competing for talent just like they compete for customers. Everything's going digital, there's a huge push for real diversity and inclusion, and the very idea of the workplace itself is being transformed. Let's zoom in on one of those for a second: talent management. It's a massive deal, and it's built on 4 key pillars. First, you've got to attract the right people by building a great reputation. Then, you have to identify the rising stars inside your own company. Next, you develop them with things like coaching and mentoring. And finally, you have to retain them by giving them clear career paths and a real shot at work-life balance. And that idea of work-life balance, it is not just a buzzword anymore. Companies are putting real policies in place, things like flexible hours, where you decide when you start and end your day, or job sharing, or, of course, the ability to work from home, and really supportive leave policies. Believe me, these aren't just perks anymore. They are essential strategies for keeping the best people in today's world. So there you have it. We've seen human resources management evolve from a basic administrative job into the strategic operating system for a company's most important asset. It's dynamic, it's complex, and honestly, it's more critical than ever. Which kind of leaves us with one final thought. A question for you. As the very nature of work keeps changing, what role will you play in shaping its future?